ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So today we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 8, Text 46. So please repeat after me. Sri Raja Uvacha Nandaha Kim Akarot Brahman Shreyah Evam Maha Udayam Yasoda Cha Mahabhaga Papau Papau Yasyaha Stanam Harihi. So just we saw an example. If you just make a small mistake in pronunciation, how the meaning changes. Sri Rajo Vacha Nandakim Akarod Brahman Shreya Evang Mahodayam Yasoda Cha Mahabhaga Papau Yasya Stanang Harihi. Sri Rajo Vacha Nandaking Akarod Brahman Shreya Evang Mahodayam Yasoda Cha Mahabhaga Papau Yasya Stanang Harihi. Sri Rajo Vacha Nandakim Akarod Brahman Shreya Evang Mahodayam Yasoda Cha Mahabhaga Papau Yasya Stanang Harihi. Yasoda Cha Mahabhaga Papau Yasya Stanang Harihi. Matajis. Sri Rajo Vacha Nandakim Akarod Brahman Shreya Evang Mahodayam Yasoda Cha Mahabhaga Papau Yasya Stanang Harihi. Sri Rajo Vacha Nandakim Akarod Brahman Shreya Evang Mahodayam Yasoda Cha Mahabhaga Papau Yasya Stanang Harihi. Shri Raja Uvacha. Maharaja Parikshit further inquired from Shukadeva Goswami. Nandaha, Maharaja Nanda, Kim, what? Akarot, performed. Brahman, O learned Brahmana. Shreyaha, auspicious activities like performing penances and austerities. Evam, as exhibited by him. Mahaudayam, from which they achieved the greatest perfection. Yasoda, Mother Yasoda, Cha, also. Mahabhaga, most fortunate. Papau, drank. Yasyaha, of whom? Stanam, the breast milk. Harihi, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. Translation. Having heard of the great fortune of Mother Yasoda, Parikshit Maharaj inquired from Shukadeva Goswami, O learned Brahmana, Mother Yasoda's breast milk was sucked by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What past auspicious activities did she and Nanda Maharaja perform to achieve such perfection in ecstatic love? Purport. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 16, Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukrutino arjuna. Without sukruti or pious activities, no one can come to the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord is approached by four kinds of pious men: Artho, Jignasur, Artharti, Jnani cha. But here we see that Nanda Maharaj and Yasoda surpassed all of them. Therefore, Parikshit Maharaj naturally inquired what kind of pious activities did they perform in their past lives by which they achieved such a stage of perfection. Of course, Nanda Maharaj and Yasoda are accepted as the father and mother of Krishna. Yet, Mother Yasoda was more fortunate than Nanda Maharaja, Krishna's father, because Nanda Maharaja was sometimes separated from Krishna, whereas Yasoda, Krishna's mother, was not separated from Krishna at any moment. From Krishna's babyhood to his childhood and from his childhood to his youth, Mother Yasoda was always in association with Krishna. Even when Krishna was grown up, he would go to Vrindavana and sit on the lap of Mother Yasoda. Therefore, there is no comparison to the fortune of Mother Yasoda. And Parikshit Maharaj naturally inquired, Yasoda cha Mahabhaga. Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Sri Rajo Vacha Nanda Kim Akarod Brahman Shreya Evang Mahodayam Yasoda cha Mahabhaga Papau Yasya Stanam Harihi. So again, today's verse we are seeing where Parikshit Maharaj, out of great eagerness and out of great appreciation for Mother Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj, wants to know more about the amazing fortune they got. What is it that they have done that Papau Yasya Stanam Harihi, the Lord is drinking breast milk from Mother Yasoda? What they have done? How glorious it is. So that in that mood he is asking this question, and also he is addressing here Shukadeva Goswami as Brahman, Prabhupada in the word to word translates it as O learned Brahmana. And also the Acharyas are making a point that who can answer this question? Who knows the answer for this question? Only the Lord himself has to answer. So he is on the level. So Shukadeva Goswami is such an exalted personality. So he is rightly addressing him. Akarod Brahman. And quite some significant words are there in this verse. And to discuss further on this verse, we need to really touch upon yesterday's verse, because it's a very important verse in the entire 10th canto of the Bhagavatam. Yesterday's verse, Trayacho Upanishadbhischa Sankhya Yogaischa Satvataihi Upagiyamana Mahatmyam Harim Samanya Atmajam. So Shukadeva Goswami, he points out the exalted position of Mother Yasoda. Yesterday we heard how she was completely absorbed in love of the Lord, and for her, Krishna is the ordinary child. That is the understanding. And why this verse is considered a very important verse? Because from the verse number, literally the description of this universal form is from the verse number 21 to this verse. The entire glory of Mother Yashoda's relationship with Krishna is highlighted, and specifically this verse number 45, Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur is pointing out as the Paribhasha Sutra of the entire Krishna Leelas. So what is Paribhasha Sutra? Paribhasha Sutra is the foundational principle of any work. For example, right there in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we can say that Srimad Bhagavatam establishes that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what is the verse? Immediately what verse comes to our mind from the Bhagavatam? Krishnastu bhagete chamsa kalapumsa Krishnastu bhagavan swayam Indrari vyakulam lokam hridayanti yuge yuge. So that is a foundational principle. When you understand that he is the fountainhead, from him all expansions come out. So that's one thing. Then another very, very important verse, which also sets the clear principle of pure devotional service in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is Savai Pumsang Parodharmo Yato Bhaktir Adokshaje Ahaituki Apratihata Yayatma Suprasidati. So the verse says that so the greatest activity that one has to perform, Parodharmo, is to engage in the service of the Supreme Personality of Adhokshaja, who is beyond the perception of the senses and the mind. So one has to take shelter of him and engage in his service. So what kind of service? Very clearly Bhagavatam is, this is Bhagavatam. Very clearly it puts in perspective the pure devotional service. Ahaituki apratihata, without any ulterior motive of trying to satisfy one's senses. The aim is to please the senses of Krishna. So there is no other motive. And then apratihata, and that becomes the eternal function of the soul. It's not for a short span of time, like for 45 days or for one mandala or till I get the results of some benefit. No, it's an eternal activity of the soul. So Bhagavatam very clearly puts in perspective. So these are the foundational principles of verses which sets the entire mood of the book. So when we just see Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, right at the beginning, Srila Rupa Goswami immediately defines on what basis the entire work is being done. Entire book of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is based on the principal verse Anya Abhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulyena Krishnanu Sheelanam Bhakti Ruttama. So this is the whole point. That what is pure devotional service? The pure devotional service is bereft of the result of fruitive activities, or by the study of your jnana, the mental speculation, you come to some conclusion about absolute truth, and all these things are rejected. And one has to engage in the service of the Lord. And also what kind of service? Anukulyena, it is being mentioned. Very favorably disposed. So this becomes the Paribhasha Sutra of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And then if you take Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami, he sets the mood. he very clearly sets what is that, what is it all about, what is this whole Lord Chaitanya, why he came, what did he exhibit. He came to give pure love of Krishna, and to attain pure love of Krishna is not a cheap thing. And so what is that pure love? What is that you see in the material world? What do you see in the spiritual world? Or what the pure spiritual is, in what platform they are, and the materialists are in what platform? Everything it defines in one verse, and that becomes the foundational principle of the entire text of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So it says, Atendriya Priti Vancha Tare Bhalikam Krishnendriya Priti Cha Dhare Premanam. So he says that as long as we are going to try to satisfy our senses, that is called as kama. In the material world, everything is tinged with that. We all simply want to satisfy our senses. That's how we look at everything. So that is kama. And then he says that, but prema is one, simply your entire existence is for the pleasure of the Lord, simply to satisfy the Lord. That is the level of the gopis and the pure devotees. So we are discussing these verses to make the point that the acharyas, they very much in very clear perspective, they set the mood. What is pure devotional service? So that is why it is being called as Paribhasha Sutra. So here Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, he points out that this verse is the Paribhasha Sutra of the entire Leelas of Krishna, all the Leelas of Krishna. So what is that? That for Mother Yasoda, she only sees Krishna as an ordinary child. Although we were hearing so many verses in this chapter, how she was, although others were saying that Gargamuni said that he's Narayana himself, he has the powers of Narayana. All those things she heard, but for her, she has to protect her child. That's her mood. And that's why here Srila Shukadeva Goswami also is pointing out that if you study the scriptures very nicely, Srila Prabhupada in the Purport, he is building up and then he is making the point that how rare it is. First of all, let's try to understand. First of all, to get a human form of life is very, very rare. It's very rare to get a human form of life. And then in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the big description is given about that there are two kinds of people. One, let's say, before coming to the human form of life, there is chara and achara. There is movable living entities, movable and immovable living entities. And then when you get into as a movable living entity, when you get an opportunity, so the scriptures explains about Jalajana Valakshani, Stavara Laksha Vimshati. So there are 84 lakh species of bodies are explained. And then of the human form, there are 4 lakh species. And then in the 4 lakh species, there are so many species you can categorize in uncivilized. Of course, based on the modes of the mixture of the modes, the consciousness is graded. But then there is uncivilized, and then becomes civilized. And then within the category of civilized, you can see in this purport to text 45, Prabhupada makes an amazing point. He says that when a human being enters into the study of the Vedas to obtain vidya, knowledge, he begins to take part in human civilization, he says. Can you just imagine this? He says that the human civilization begins typically when there is an inquiry of God. And you can find the answers for the inquiry of God by the study of the Vedas. This is the situation. Now, Srila Prabhupada in the purport to this, he further elaborates that the Vedas is vast, it is a vast ocean. And you need to, if somebody should study the Vedas and try to understand the meaning of the Vedas, first of all, he needs to know the grammar. And to become well versed in the study of the grammar, all the experts, they say that at least you need 12 years of study to become an expert in the study of Sanskrit grammar. Okay, then you study the grammar, then you study the Sanskrit text. It's a vast ocean. Then there is Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, then Upasana Kanda. It's all huge texts. How much you are going to study? How much you are going to get to know what is the final truth? How you are going to get there? That's again a big question. And then after all this, so that is what this verse is saying. So he says that Trayacho Upanishad Bhischa. So he says that there is Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharvana Veda, then there is Then there is all the Upanishads. There are so many. There is a Brahmana portion. There is Aranyakas. How to perform the yagyas, how to perform, how to know what are the modes of worship, how to get benefits by karma kanda. You engage in karma kanda worship, you get certain benefits. What kind of yagya to perform, what kind of yagya will give us this benefit, that. So many descriptions are there, so you may get stuck with that. Then after that, after getting frustrated with all the trying to enjoy the material life, then you get frustrated, and then you try to know about Brahman by the process of Jnana Kanda. Then gradually from there you may get to know that there is a controller. Then that's Sankhya Yoga Ischa. So by the process you may know that there is a controller, there is a Ishvara, and then further you further go up in the studies, that you come to know about Paramatma. That there is the supreme being, the Brahman is done, and then you come to the level of Paramatma, and then if you are very fortunate enough, one may come to know about Bhagavan by Satvataihi, the Prabhupada translated by the great sages and devotees, or by reading Vaishnava Tantra, the word to word Prabhupada translates, by Pancharatras and like that. Why? Because there are Upagiyamana Mahatmyam. So because in the Vedas, finally the Vedas shows and it glorifies about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So now all these things are there. So a person comes to the level of understanding Bhagavan. And that also the Gita says that Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyade Vasudevam Sarvamiti Samahatmasu. Very, very rare to see a such person, to know that Vasudeva is everything. So that is one level. Then, as we are hearing, whenever we study the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, then the whole conception of Godhead, you hear about Bhagavan and everything, then when there is an entry into Vrindavan, then the premises says, the basic premise is that you forget that Krishna is God. Then it becomes completely bewildering, confusing. Who can understand this? And that we see with the great devotees of Vrindavan. For them, Krishna is a small boy, that's all, who plays, and they simply want to please him, they simply love him. And the Vedas and all the Acharyas, they say that this is the pinnacle, or this is the highest, topmost level of pure devotion, to come to this understanding. That's why this verse, specifically here, Mother Yasoda considering that the Supreme Person is an ordinary child. So that is why this verse sets the mood. Specifically, we can also see that Krishna exhibits his powers sometimes. But then, even more than the powers, is Krishna's expression of his love towards his devotees without any Aishwarya. And then the devotees love they exhibit towards Krishna without the mood of any awe and reverence, that Krishna loves it very much. And Krishna gives himself, Krishna gets bound by that. That's why Mother Yasoda is so much glorified. And then in this purport, we can see very special status Prabhupada is pointing out. He says that there is no comparison to Mother Yasoda's good fortune. So it's not something ordinary. So when His Grace Mukunda the Prabhu was here, he was making the point that this is something amazing, that what Srila Prabhupada is pointing out in this purport. So generally we hear that Madhurya Rasa is on a very higher platform, and it's the greatest sweetness. Here Mother Yasoda's level is on a very, very high platform. It should not be, who are we to speak about that? Who are we to say about that? But at least, even to theoretically say that, we should not think that Mother Yasoda, she's in Vatsalya Rasa, it's not any ordinary. Here Srila Prabhupada very specifically points, there is no comparison to that. We will see some more verses where the Bhagavatam itself, Bhagavatam and other acharyas, how they are glorifying Mother Yasoda's unique position. And that's the reason Parikshit Maharaj, in appreciation of Mother Yasoda, is asking these questions. Here in today's verse, he is asking this question. Now, I'll just... so Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in his commentary for this verse 10.8.45, he is nicely putting it. I'll just read that portion alone, a little bit of that, so that we will know why he is giving such an emphasis for this verse. he gives an analogy of how this foundational principle should be understood clearly, so that we can appreciate Krishna's great leelas. So I'll just read a small section of it. As the fruitive workers think of the Lord as the Yajna Purusha according to the Vedas, similarly, Yasoda thought of the Lord as her son due to her Vatsalya Prema. Just as Krishna gives results to the karmis who worship him, he reciprocated with Yasoda's maternal affection. But Krishna could not respond fully to the amount of affection offered by Mother Yasoda. Remaining a debtor, Krishna was content to be dependent on Yasoda's mercy and control and cry for her milk. This will become clear in the later chapters. So this we see often, Krishna when he also na parayaham. Krishna says that what can I do in return to the gopis' great love and affection? I remain a debtor. So now further Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur points out, one should take this verse as a Paribhasha Sutra of Krishna Leela. As a lamp sits in one place in a dark room and lights up the whole room, so that statement in the scriptures which can reveal the meaning of all scriptures or regulate the meaning of the scriptures is called Paribhasha Sutra. This verse stands as a regulator for all of the pastimes related to Aishwarya. So that's the whole point. So there are devotees who are worshipping the Lord with awe and reverence, and then there are devotees who are further intimate. So in Krishna, sometimes in his Kaumara Leela and Kaishora Leela, sometimes in Mathura and then in Kurukshetra and other places, he performs various Leelas, but then we can appreciate why it is being glorified. Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam. Vrindavana is the supreme abode. And the gopis are the greatest devotees. Why it is being described like that? So that we see, then we understand, as in this verse it is being explained that the great love expressed by Mother Yasoda, Krishna remains a debtor. So that is the point. So then we can further see the glories of Mother Yasoda and Nanda. We can see Srila Prabhupada is quoted about that in few verses. So we see some verses just to see their unique position. So there are few verses which gives the glories of Nanda Maharaj, and also the verses which glorifies Mother Yasoda. So this we heard, Shrutimapare Smriti Mitare Bharatamanye Bhajantu Bhavabhitaha Aham Iha Nandam Vande Yasyalinde Param Brahma. So here this verse glorifies the great position of Maharaja Nanda, because in his courtyard Krishna is just crawling. The supreme absolute truth is just crawling there. And then he says that there is like this verse that we saw now, Trayacha Upanishadascha. So here it is explained that all the Vedas, Upanishads, everything, there are from the beginning to the all the Vedas and scriptures, they give the unique position. They glorify the Lord, and then further the realization of Bhagavan realization is glorified, and then the greatest position of the gopis are glorified. Now in this verse, here Sri Raghupati Upadhyaya, he says that I just simply want to take shelter of the Nanda Maharaj. That's it. So because as we heard in the previous classes also, because that's the mood that we approach the Lord through the pure devotees. So Gopi Bhritya Padakamalayur Dasa Dasa Anudas. That is the mood. So now Nanda Maharaj is glorified in this verse. Then this is a famous verse in the Bhagavatam, which again at the beginning of the class we said the unique position of Mother Yasoda. Here this verse glorifies, as we will see in the 9th chapter of the Bhagavatam. Nemam virincho na bhavo na shrir apyanga samshraya prasadam lebhire gopi yattat prapa vimukti dhat. So in this shloka we can see the word na is used 3 times. So the point is that neither Lord Brahma, nor Shiva, nor Goddess Lakshmi, she's always the better of the Supreme Lord, can obtain from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the deliverer of the material world, such mercy as received by Mother Yasoda. It's very unique. So that's being glorified. And then so I'm just repeating few words. This when His Grace Mukunda the Prabhu was here, he was pointing out that this is the glorification of Nanda Maharaj. I mean, Nanda Maharaj was glorified by Raghupati Upadhyay, and then he said that Srila Rupa Goswami himself, he glorified the unique position of Mother Yasoda. So he says that what is her unique position? Bandhu Karuna Vasanam Sundara Kurcham Mukunda Hrita Nayanam Nandam Tundila Vapusham Chandana Gauratvisham Vande. So he offers his prayers to Mother Yasoda. He says that I offer my respectful obeisances to Nanda Maharaja. His garments are as red as a bandhuka flower. His beard is handsome. His chubby form is the golden color of sandalwood paste. And his eyes are enchanted by the sight of Lord Mukunda. He glorifies in one verse Nanda Maharaj. And then this verse he glorifies Mother Yasoda. He says, Ankaja Pankaja Nabham Navya Ghanabham Vichitra Ruchi Shichayam Virachita Jagat Pramodham Muhur Yashodam Namasyami. So he says that Mother Yasoda holds Lord Pankaja Nabha on her lap. So that is what we heard in that previous verse. That this is something which is glorious. The entire Vedas, everything, all the personified Vedas, the great personalities, everyone is offering great obeisances. And that Supreme Personality of Godhead is just sitting on the lap of Mother Yasoda. So he says, what a great fortune. How to understand this? What she should have done to attain such a position. That's what Parikshit Maharaj is asking. Nanda kim akarod brahman shreyevam mahodayam. And then he also uses the word Mahabhaga. Yashodacha Mahabhaga. What a great fortune she has done. So my dear Shukadeva Goswami, please explain how to understand this. Papav yasya stanam harihi. The Lord is just drinking milk from her breast. How is that? Please explain. So here Srila Rupa Goswami is also glorifying and he is pointing. Virachita Jagat Pramodam Muhur Yashodam Namasyami. So he is completely delighting the entire world. Jagat Pramodam. And I repeatedly offer my respectful obeisances to her. And then Krishna himself, one of the devotees in the Padyavali, is pointing out how Krishna himself is glorifying Mother Yasoda. So he is missing her. So for that, there is a beautiful verse. He points out that he says that now who will take half-chewed betel nuts from his own mouth and place them in mine? So Krishna is saying, now Mother Yasoda will do this, but where is she? Who will do this? Now who will subdue me with sweet words when I depart from the path of righteousness? Now who will call, come, wave his arm and place me on his lap? And then he says that now who will tie my peacock feather when it falls because of my pastime? So all these activities, Mother Yasoda with great love will do it for Krishna. So who will do that? So that's another beautiful verse he glorifies. Yeah, so now that is the whole point is being discussed in yesterday's purport, and Srila Prabhupada points out in the purport about the importance of the Sambandha, Abhidaya and Prayojana. So which is very important for us who are on the beginning stage of the devotional service. So for us it's so important to know about the Sambandha Jnana. So the Vedas, if you see the entire Vedas, there is three things: Sambandha, Abhidaya and Prayojana. And Sambandha, by the knowledge of Sambandha, one gets to know who he is, what is his relationship with this material world, what is material world, what is the spiritual world, who is God, what is his connection with the God, and everything is put in proper perspective. So Sambandha Jnana is very important. So without Sambandha Jnana, we become clueless. We do not know what to do. Let's say we go somewhere. Let's say even if someone goes and joins a company, so he is recruited, but if he doesn't know what is his role, what he has to do, you will be wondering what you'll be doing. You may have an offer letter and everything. You will go there and then you will be blinking. You do not know what is your role, what you have to do, what is your responsibility. So the Sambandha Jnana is the first thing. So first we get to hear about the nature of the material world. What is the nature of the soul? what is the nature of the spiritual world, who is the Lord, what are his qualities, everything we hear. So then, and then also next thing is so what is the process of developing the relationship with the Lord? So that is Abhidheya. So then Abhidheya explains the process of reviving the relationship with the Lord. And then by practicing that process, one develops love of God. So that is prayojana. So that is the goal one has to attain. So Srila Prabhupada points out that in yesterday's purport, that ultimately, so one has to develop love for God. So that is being pointed out. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is an interesting section where it explains about the story of a poor man who goes to the astrologer. He says, the poor man goes to the astrologer, and the astrologer says that there is a great treasure waiting for you. There is a great treasure. So he gives about the different directions. You go to the south, you go to the north, you go to the west, and in different he is suggesting not to go in those directions. How you will be having difficulty. You go to the eastern side, that you will find the treasure. So there, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that the comparison is given to if he says that if you go to the south, you will be hit by the wasps and the drones. If you go to the west, you will be attacked by the demoniac ghost. If you go to the north, you will be bitten by a big black snake. But then he says that the treasure is in the eastern side. Now this comparison is given. So there is now, so the treasure of Krishna consciousness is actually blocked by, so as in the beginning we spoke about this verse from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So one may be carried away by the fruitive activities, the fruitive action. So one has to be very careful not to be carried away by the fruitive results. And then the ghost of mental speculation. Now by the process of jnana, also you will not be able to, you will be carried away. And then also along in that path there is also the impersonalism. So these are the three comparisons the Chaitanya Charitamrita which is given, which will completely carry away a person to get the real treasure. So we are all poor, but actually we come to know that actually we are not poor, we are all very rich, because Krishna is the richest person. He is he is Madhava, and who reveals Madhava to us. So it is the pure devotee of the Lord, the spiritual master. So we need to approach the Tattvadarshis. So they know how to. They tell us, they show us, hey, you are not a poor person. You are not meant to suffer in this material world. You are a son of the richest person. So they show us the treasure, and they also give us the path by which we can approach the treasure. So the whole process of sadhana bhakti is given to us. So Krishna gives a simple formula in the Bhagavad Gita: Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshanaha. So we approach the Tattvadarshis, and then so Krishna gives the formula. He says that pranipata, in a very humble mood, you go and approach the spiritual master. Pariprashana, ask him questions, and then you engage in service, favorably engage in service, and by rendering service according to the instructions of the spiritual master, who gives instructions according to the Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. He gives according to he guides us from the scriptures, he guides us according to the previous acharyas, and then by their guidance, then if we engage in the service, then we will be able to come from the level of that at the beginning, there is, as we said, the Komal Shraddha, at the beginning, very mild, little faith. From that little faith, as we water it by Shravanam and Kirtanam, we keep watering, and then we avoid the weeds by carefully following the principles of devotional service. Then gradually from the tender faith, one comes to develop the pure love of God. So this is the science of Krishna consciousness that is given by Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada has given the whole package to us. The whole process he has given, and then we simply need to have faith in that process. So by developing that faith in the process and not artificially jumping, as yesterday Kripakara Prabhu was explaining, that we should not artificially try to imitate Mother Yasoda or any of the gopis, or also we should not underestimate their position. So we should appreciate them, we should beg for their mercy, and then simply all we need to do is follow um, the guidance that Srila Prabhupada has given to us, and the guidance that is being given by Srila Prabhupada's followers. So we know Lord Chaitanya, he came to give pure love of God. So Lord Chaitanya is none other Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahayanya. So he knows what is that pure love. What is the pure love? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows that, and then he freely is distributing. And one of the very powerful branch of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the branch of Srila Prabhupada. So, and all we need to do, Srila Prabhupada knows where we need to go, what we need to attain. He knows. So, if we try to please Srila Prabhupada, then we will be able to attain perfection. So, we just need to have that faith and stick to the process of devotional service, and then we will be able to really appreciate and purify ourselves, and then really experience the great bliss of Krishna consciousness. And we see all great devotees. So 2 days back I was hearing one memory of Shrutakirti Prabhu. So he said that Srila Prabhupada was protecting. He was actually speaking about Mother Yasoda, how Mother Yasoda was protecting for her. Krishna is her small boy, and all she thought was a protection of Krishna. So he was making the point that Srila Prabhupada was so caring, and he was protecting all the devotees, even in spite of such busy schedule, so much management, so much traveling, preaching. So he personally related that he became completely sick. He said that he never ever used to miss when Prabhupada was there in Vrindavan. They cannot even imagine of missing the Bhagavatam. There is no question of missing Bhagavatam class. Somebody is not well, headache, this problem, that problem, whatever, they just come and sit in the class. And then if you sit in the class, he said that there is no question of sleeping in front of Prabhupada. So Prabhupada, he said that once he was having some, I don't remember what was he had some heavy, maybe jaundice, I think. He said he was usually used to play mridanga for Prabhupada. And I said, I'm a decent drummer, I could play and I could match with Prabhupada's singing. But so that day I was very sick. I was trying to play mridanga and I was dozing off. I was sitting in the class. And Prabhupada just looked at me straight, and then he said that, if you are tired, go and then take rest. So he said that, then I went, and then I said that Prabhupada came. After that he arranged for my medicines, he arranged for a doctor. He saw that I got prasadam. He saw that I recovered. So he was glorifying Prabhupada, that he knew exactly what he was doing, what he was speaking, and how he knew exactly where he wanted the devotees, what they should do. Everything Srila Prabhupada knew. So he was making the point that we need to have faith in the words of Prabhupada. We simply need to stick to the process he has given. Then everything will, all auspiciousness, everything will come about. So that was really amazing. So he was making the point that we need to be very much dedicated to the mission that Srila Prabhupada has given. And so that's the whole point. Then we can see here the appreciation of devotees. So that is what here we can see here. Parikshit Maharaj is appreciating the great glory of Mother Yasoda. So simply for us in our life, by simply appreciating the great devotees, like Srila Prabhupada and his followers, and the great dedication, so we will make great progress. For us, in our conditioned stage, to glorify Krishna and then to develop love for Krishna, it's a big thing. But if we can develop attachment to Srila Prabhupada and his followers and then render some service to them, that will be the perfection of our life. By their mercy, we will be, like they said, you are given grace mark and then you are considered pass, like that. By their mercy, we will be able to make progress. So that is a hope for us. So Srila Prabhupada's purpose, Srila Prabhupada's instructions through his letters, his personal instruction is really very inspiring, and we can really appreciate. So through Srila Prabhupada, when we appreciate all these great devotees, otherwise we are clueless. What do we know? How do we know what is their pure devotion? So we will be stuck. So there are some more things which I don't want to get into it, because there are the next 2-3 verses explains about. Here there is a hint given in this verse why what is a great pious activity that Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yasoda they have done. So that is being further discussed in the upcoming purports. How they are eternal. They are eternally the mother and father of Krishna, and so like they came as they performed austerities as Dara and Dara. So all those details will be explained in the upcoming verses. So I'll just stop here. So if you have any questions or comments or any realizations, yes, ma'am. Yes. So they understand that yes, ma'am. The question is that during the class we spoke about Paribhasha Sutra in the Bhagavatam and in the Chaitanya Charitamrita and like that. So the question is the Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja, is that the Paribhasha Sutra of the Bhagavad Gita? So yeah, that the two verses that Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja, completely surrendering to Krishna, understanding Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then this also this verse of Manmanabhava Madbhakto, engaging in devotional service, always thinking of me. Krishna says Manmanabhava Madbhakto Madhyajivam Namaskuru Mame Vaishyasi Satyam Te Pratijane Priyosime. So ultimately engaging in devotional service, that mind absorbed in Krishna. So these are the the foundational principles that is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. So these are the most two important verses in the Bhagavad Gita. So, but I've not heard of Paribhasha Sutra of Bhagavad Gita, but usually I heard of only in the Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said. But again, by studying the entire Bhagavad Gita, one should come to know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are His eternal servants, and we are meant to render pure devotional service to Krishna. So that conclusion one should come by studying the Bhagavad Gita. Anything else? Mm, what's any point why rig is not mentioned? Generally, the question is there is the by studying the three Vedas in the verse to word translation, Traya is being mentioned as by studying the three Vedas, Sama, Yajur, and Atharva. Why rig is not mentioned is the question. I don't know the technical details of that, but here by many times we see in this there are three Vedas is being mentioned. Sometimes the Atharva is not mentioned. Rig, Yajur, Sama is being mentioned, but then the Vedas it comes to understand that all the four Vedas. Maybe I have to refer. I do not know the technical details. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.